Scrum as a framework. Now, instead of starting with the idea of a framework, let's take a look at what the Project Management Institute, the PMI, has to say about frameworks. I am a PNP, a project management professional. I've maintained that status, even though I am an agilist, because I think it's a good idea to keep one foot in the world of more traditional project management so that I can understand what people are going through. Now, in the current environment, the PMI has embraced and the agile movement. But let's go back. I want to go back to 2017, not that long ago, only about 8 years ago or so. In the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, fifth edition, if you look in the glossary, you will find the definition of the word methodology. The definition is a system of practices, techniques, procedures, and rules used by those who work in a discipline. There's also the definition of process, a systemic series of activities directed towards causing an end result such that one or more inputs will be acted upon to create one or more outputs. What about the definition of framework? Well, in 2017, the glossary did not even include a definition for framework. Isn't that interesting? Now let's look at what the Scrum Guide said at that same time, 2017. By definition, Scrum is a framework within which people can address complex adaptive problems while productively and creatively delivering products of the highest possible value. A framework within which we can solve our problems. I like to picture in my mind the Scrum framework as a box, something more like a milk crate or an orange crate. It's sturdy, it's solid, it can hold a lot. The top is open. With the top being open, that means you could put a lot of stuff into that framework. You could add things. You want to add some Six Sigma analysis? Well, if it's helpful, then why not do that? You want to add some Kanban? Well, if that's helpful, why not do that? Other agile practices from extreme programming like pairing or test-driven development, if that's going to be helpful, why not add that and see what happens? The problem with the framework is when you start to distort that carrying case, when you start to drill holes in the walls, when you start to bust walls out, when you start to put so much into it that it can barely hold what you're adding any longer. Framework is a lightweight set of rules, there's no doubt, but just a few rules. When we add too much, we try to make it more defined, if you will, then it stops becoming a framework, becomes more of a methodology or a process. Ken Schwaber, the co-founder of Scrum, has said, Scrum is barely a methodology at all. Some have referred to Scrum as a set of boundaries to keep us in our lane. But there's a lot of freedom to move about in that lane, to accelerate, to slow down, to shift to the left or to the right. So the framework provides that minimum guidance. I've also heard someone refer to the Scrum framework as the MVB. That's not my original. Someone else came up with this. The minimal viable bureaucracy. The least amount of rules, bureaucracies, if you will, necessary to help people focus on their work and organize together. Any more than that, it starts to become heavy-handed. Any less than that, people start to lose their focus. So Scrum is the right balance. At least that's what so many thousands of organizations over the years have discovered. And I hope you can discover the same. Thanks for your time.